I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda, we have approved the minutes from November 3rd, accounts payable vouchers and payroll docket.
Make a motion to accept this submitted.
Second that.
No more questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Highway Department annual bid opening. I believe that's Bobby Phillips.
Want this too? All right. The annual bids, just so everybody kind of has an idea, a lot of these are the operations that the highway department performs throughout the year. So this kind of helps us lock in our stone prices, asphalt prices, a lot of the things that we use every single day, culverts and several of things here as I'll read through those. Dust control, since that's the first one here on the list. I'm gonna move these right over here so I don't get that mixed up. The first one I have is from Great Lakes Chloride. That is for our dust control on our gravel roads. And their price applied will be 40 cents per gallon. Yeah. Hold on, I got that wrong. It's 0.4 gallons per square yard. Now they need to find the price per gallon. I knew that was cheaper than what we had in the past. So that sounded really good. Then they may have bid that per square yard. There we go. Yes, because we usually use about 35,000 gallons and the bid price is $1.48 per gallon. Yes. Lots of papers to bumble through because there's lots of documentation that has to go along with it. Okay, the next one I have is asphalt materials. They are one of the suppliers for our emulsion that we use for chip seal. And there are multiple different types of oil that we use. The main one I'm going to read here tonight would just be the RS2, AE90, APME, and the AEPL. Pardon me. And that price, this one's for our county tank. If they delivered it to us, is $2.66 per gallon. And for job site delivery, they are the same price, $2.66 per gallon. I'll try to keep it short, but it's reading one or two at a time. They will be available after the meeting at any time. Next one I have here is Dalton's, our vegetation control herbicide, treats our roadsides and keeps a lot of our brush eliminated so we don't have to cut all of it with the tractors all the time. And their price, it is furnished, it's $1.18 per gallon. Furnished and applied. Greatly appreciate them. They continue to kind of keep their prices in check. Next one I have here is from Civilcon. This is one of our culverts. I'll have to stick it on. I need to keep that part since that's where your timestamp will be.
Yeah, I would say.
And this one's a book, and I promise I'm not gonna read all these prices because we'll be here a while if I do. This, there are materials that are available for purchase, everything from aluminum box culverts, box beam structures, culverts, as I mentioned. I'm not even gonna read all those prices or any of them, so if you're okay with that.
Yeah, that's a book.
Read that one.
Just put it in the last name on it.
This one's for annual bids, but I took supplied materials. We'll have to open it up and see what it's for. This is from Waller Meter. This is also culverts, a lot of our plastic culverts that we use. It's like all those are there. I won't read all those either, because there's about 20 different sizes of culverts there. So they will certainly all be available. This is from Lofty Valley Ag. They're wanting to quote our fuel deliveries this year and how our fuel is done. This basically allows them the opportunity to bid as we reach out to them when we need a tank or load of fuel. And then they will be one of them that can supply us with the pricing available. Next one I have here is from Dave O'Mara Contracting. This be for asphalt picked up at their plant. Yes, it could be for equipment. Yes, this is for asphalt picked up at the plant. Number 11 surface would be $72 per ton picked up there. Like how well that touch plastic. I kind of figured that's about the way it's gonna work. I'll let you get the truck. Missing this morning, so I've been lost all day. Just about got it. Thank you. This from St. Regis Culvert Supplier. They do everything from the steel pipes, small structures, a lot of other options also, as far as some of the drainage options and supplies. I won't read all of those either because there are a bunch. This is from Specialties Company. They've done some of our full depth recycling, some of our milling in the past. And this will be for, my anticipation is this is for labor and equipment rates. Yes, it is labor and equipment for roadway stabilization. If we get into a project that's less than 150,000, we can work directly with them. Just gives us a few more options for some of our road projects. Just kind of like watching paint dry, guys. Scott got it. It's just one of the procedures I have to go through. Hanson Aggregates. And a lot of money there. For rock and gravel roads. Hanson Aggregates. Be interesting to see how these prices compare to last year. Yeah, they've got a sheet list here from for sales in Scott County is primarily where we get most of our rock from through Hanson Aggregates. They've got number 11s at $20.45 per ton. 53s at $12.10 per ton. And number 8s at $16.05 per ton. Several other prices there as well. Quite a few of the materials that we use quite frequently. That was at the for sales quarry. And then at the Scott County quarry, those 11s would be $16.85 per ton. The 8s would be $14.45 per ton. And number 53s would be $11.60 per ton. Some increase, but I can't remember exactly how much off the top of my head. It's kind of nature of the beast right now, isn't it? Wind Supply, they're another local culvert supplier. They primarily stock and keep plastic culverts on hand over here as well. Making sure that they're are listed. Premier Energy, this is a supplier for our diesel fuel and gasoline. Same thing as I kind of mentioned earlier on our fuel supplier. So they were one of the others that we request the bids from as we need that tanker load of fuel. Petroleum Traders Corporation. They are a fuel supplier. They haven't actually supplied a bid as long as I've been there, but they like to be on the bidders list. did include equipment rental and labor rates. Oh, I see. They just printed out a form. Never mind. Never mind. For a curveball. There's another quote for bituminous materials. This is Marathon Petroleum. I had read off the RS2 earlier. Their price is job site delivery. It's $265. If we picked it up there, it'd be $255. 80/90 is also $265. Those prices are getting close. And asphalt materials, very close. That's what my memory was leaning towards. The next one I have here is from Terry Asphalt Materials, also a supplier for the 80/90 RS2 chip seal materials. AE90, $2.38 per gallon.
There or delivered.
That was there. Their delivered price is $2.64 per gallon. They are zeroed into the pennies, aren't they? That's when it gets interesting. Everybody's on the same page, don't you? I have here a bid for the annual materials from Mac Construction. The good news is, guys, the red file is getting smaller than the ones I haven't read yet. I believe this is going to be, oh, no, they are bidding hot mix picked up at the plant. And their bid for surface 11s is $60 per ton. I think that's what I read on Omer's earlier, wasn't it?
72.
That can be just a little bit further away, but that is something to definitely be considered. Very helpful. Hey, I found the last one. All-Star Paving. Okay, this is for the equipment rental and labor rates. And includes everything from lowboy trucks to pickups, trailers. So this is a very helpful item when we have a lot of storm damage or different things, or need some assistance if one of our pieces of equipment breaks down. This way we kind of got a price kind of locked and in place for the year.
Like a per hour.
And I won't read all of those because there's a lot on that also. That is the end of our annual bids. Take those under advisement until the next meeting. If you would, and I'll make sure all the bonds and everything are there and we can award those at the next meeting.
Very good.
You guys probably heard from me long enough. You want me to go back or you want me to start into the next pile?
You're there.
Are you sure? There's quite a bit here. The next one I'll do, we opened up bids this morning for County Road 325 East. Actually, printed off our bid results for you guys, so you'd have that in front of you. Temple and Temple for the replacement of the structure on 325 East, their bid was $217,100, 217,100. RL Buxton also submitted a bid. Their bid was $322,965. And Dave O'Mara Contracting submitted a bid. And their bid was $292,436.50. Yes, and on the back side of that, if you flip over the paper, you have the engineer's estimate. It was $222,930. My recommendation is that we award that to Temple and Temple for $217,100. And the conversation I had with them and what they had in their bid packet was they would start construction on that February the 1st and have that project in place for about 60 days. Is about what it would take them to rip out the old structure and replace it with a new one.
So I move we accept the bid from Temple and Temple for $217,100 for a small structure on 325.
Second that motion. Questions or comments? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, one more. This is my big item. As you guys know, I don't remember the exact year. I know it was about 2015 when I started looking at it, when they were doing the realignment for the road approach for the bridge on US 421. The city of Madison took over the roads. That entailed that the county gets the bridges. Those were turned over on paper in June, and they actually extended that just a little bit because they were due for inspection in August. So they did perform the inspection. I don't have the newest inspection report at my fingertips just yet, but we did go ahead and start analyzing those as they were coming up. And we knew that there was going to be a federal call. When we originally looked at them, I was hoping we were going to be able to refurb some of those and do some maintenance on those and do some preservation practices on those that we would be able to do out of our local budget and hopefully stay somewhere between 500,000 and maybe $1 million. As we continued down the road and looking at the assessment of those projects, it continued to kind of see more and more evidence that they were going to be in a little bit more repair than what we were going to be able to handle out of our local funding. If we look at the railroad bridge alone, one of the things that was in the documentation on the inspection report was that there was going to be an epoxy that was going to be put on that in 2012. And in that inspection report, it also said that none of that was done. A lot of the maintenance kind of stopped as they knew that they were going to be relinquishing those to the county and to the city of Madison. That being said, as we continue to look at those and figure out what those were going to take and what they were going to need, and we wanted to make sure that we had things viable for the long term, it became more and more apparent that we were probably going to need to seek some federal help on that. There is a call that's available right now that we can put all the information in and see if we can get awarded. That's kind of the first step. What I have tonight, and for some of the documentation that goes along with that, is an estimate to kind of not necessarily quote what we think this is going to cost in 2028, because nobody's really got a crystal ball for what a dollar today is going to be worth in 2028. So this funding letter that I'll need your all's signatures on, and to be able to proceed forward on the railroad bridge, it's basically going to work as 3 different DES numbers. So I can read all 3 of these off to you guys, and you can pass them all 3 or one at a time. But they definitely need some work. They are still safe today. Everything's still good. you can, on preservation, it's just like roads or anything else. If we don't get ahead of the activity, it's only going to get more and more expensive. And I wouldn't even want to begin to think about replacement on one of those. I would definitely much rather stay towards preservation. All that being said, the first one that I would be applying for, this one's over the abandoned railroad. It's $3,363,125. That would be an 80-20 split for Jefferson County. Our match would be 20% of that. My goal is to try to bring as much money back to Jefferson County to keep our infrastructure as strong and as safe as we possibly can. That's the first one. As we know, there's 3 bridges on that road. The next one is going over top of Clifty Creek. It's $2,761,750. $2,761,750. The last one for this financial commitment letter is going over the top of Crooked Creek. That's $2,483,500. $2,483,500. Now, this allows us to get the ball rolling once we put this application in to see if we can get awarded these grants to bring approximately $6 million back to Jefferson County to take care of these roads, to take care of the bridges that were previously NDOT's that now belong to Jefferson County. That doesn't mean that that's exactly what it'll take. It'll take some more engineering and some more studying to figure out exactly what it is, to figure out what the construction dollars will be in 2028. But if we don't ask for enough money and it would go over what we ask for, then that becomes 100% of ours to make up that difference. So with NDOT just now turning those over to us, then that kind of allows us to be able to have those negotiations. I know with the contract that was signed, when the city and the county took that joint venture to take over the roads and do that road approach on 421, there was going to be some funding and some help possibly from the city as well. So, and that covers everything from utilities, if there is any right-of-way easement. If there's a blade of grass that we thought we might need to cover, I'm pretty sure it's covered in our estimate. So, because just like with farming and anything else, you kind of got to prepare and plan for the worst and hope for the best. So I'm hoping this is our very worst, scare you to death number that only gets better. Well, it'd make you sit down.
Sure.
That's a lot. They're liable to run me out of here, but
Made my hair fall out.
is that one? It's been working on mine too, Ron.
Yeah.
But so with that, if you guys would pass that so we can see what we can do on this award and see what we can do in this grant process, I would greatly appreciate your support.
Mhm.
I know from being part of under there when the state was going to do the sandblasting and the epoxy and some other repairs, it was in somewhat not the best of shape then, and that was in 13, I'm thinking. So I'll make a motion that we go ahead with the paperwork and get moving on it. So maybe 5 years down the road, we can get this done. Working with the state.
Federal government.
Mhm.
I second that.
Any more questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's enough for me. I've been up here way too long, guys.
You spent a lot of money.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I hope I get that opportunity.
That's a
Yeah,
lot of
we'll
work.
just sign all that afterwards.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patty Jackson. There she is. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
I'm Patty Jackson, 1055 East Broad Road, Madison. I want to make sure I get that in there. I'm going to turn this over to Mary. Mary is the lead on this project, and I'm going to be assisting her with it. And Kelly with the CAC is here also, and Representative Fry. and Neil with Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. So,
Thank you. I know Patty has filled you in, had some conversations with you, kind of where we are on things. This Children's Advocacy Center of Southeast Indiana is wanting to do have a permanent facility that they own in Madison, in Jefferson County. Currently, they're renting space in the clearinghouse. It's just not really well suited for them. I won't go into a lot of detail. Basically, while we're here, initially for the Okra grant, it has to be a city or a town or a county that can apply. And we were kind of under the impression that the city could apply because the site is in Madison, but due to the service area being Jefferson County and Scott County, those children will be serviced. Okra suggested or asked if the county could be the applicant because of those service areas. So that's kind of why we're here, is to formally ask you to be the applicant for the Okra grant. The application is due December 22nd. So we've been chugging along and getting things done. But just a formal request for you all to do that. You would have a subrecipient agreement. The CAC is a 501c3. So you would have a subrecipient agreement, and basically just kind of a pass through to get those funds to them and be eligible for the Okra funds, which are federal HUD funds. So glad to answer any questions that you have. And I know if you want to have any questions for Representative Fry or Kelly or Neil, we're glad to answer them.
Anything you would like to say?
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you, ladies. I am Randy Fry, I'm State Representative, House District 67, and you're standing in the district I represent. But I'm not here as State Representative. I'm here as a member of the Board of Directors of the Child Advocacy Center. And we have been blessed to find a building, 601 West Street, that we can purchase, and with help from grant money, we can renovate it and make a full-time facility here in Jefferson County in the city of Madison to help the most vulnerable of our society. I wanted to point out that the county didn't have any financial responsibility here. You're our agency that would apply for the grant, but we're not asking you to fund it. We're hoping that Mr. Neil Elkins' help and Kelly Jetty, we can get Okra to help fund our project. But very appreciative of you hearing us tonight and giving us the opportunity that we can get this grant. These ladies at Service have done a great job, and awful lot of work's been done to get us to this point. We're really close, and so we just kind of need this addition to our program. So with that, happy to answer your questions, and I'm sure Mr. Elkins is here from Okra if you have any questions for him, and Kelly's here. So thank you. We've been given the upfront information. I really don't have any questions. We're happy to help. That's wonderful news. Thank you.
Yeah, Patty's really updated me and kept me in the loop. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we know you.
Yeah.
You're all
Good or
right.
bad, yeah.
You're all right.
We're all right. Well, this is something that unfortunately the abused children in this county have doubled in the last year. We probably because of the pandemic. The kids are home more. They were away from their school and their churches and other people. So this is just we're really needing this facility. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll make one.
Yeah.
So I move that Jefferson County becomes the applicant for the Okra grant for the Children's Advocacy Center to be able to allow them to purchase 601 West Madison.
I second that motion.
Any more questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, honored.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We may see some of you tomorrow morning, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Again,
tomorrow afternoon.
yeah. Oh. this the one that we can forego now, or do we need to read one more time? It's your turn.
I make a motion that we forego the second and third reading of the ordinance dissolving the animal advisory board. Hearing no objections from you guys.
Second. No more questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Now we have to approve the ordinance. So I will make a motion to approve the ordinance 22 dash whatever it's gonna be, an ordinance dissolving the animal advisory board.
Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. And we have some appointments to make tonight. Plan Commission, Warren Officer, 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2026.
So, Warren's been on, he's actually been the president of the Plan Commission for the last several years, and he's made some comments about the commissioners taking some nuisance or more of the nuisance cases, but he said if we didn't, he wouldn't stay, but he said, I'm staying. So anyway, so I make a motion that we appoint Warren Offshore as to the Plan Commission for January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026.
I know we've got 2 other gentlemen on some boards that are not going to serve, so would we want to do these all at once or give us some time to
Mark,
Acosta was one, and Jeff Kernan submitted his letter of resignation, so.
So, I mean, this is the county's Plan Commission, and those are
Right.
on
Well,
the
it's
city,
up to our county appoints on these others.
right, on the city Plan Commission. So,
I thought it might be a good time to get some new blood, so. No, second that.
okay, any more questions or comments? All in favor say aye. And County Employee Insurance Committee, 1-year term beginning January 1st, 23 to December 31st, 23. Kathy Sizemore, Judy Turpinning, Susie Lawrence.
I make a motion to accept those 3 individuals for the County Employee Insurance Committee. They've been very good.
I second that.
Questions or comment? If not, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And see out there. Did he leave there? Troy, are you available, sir? Real quick. Yeah, take one and pass them around.
First thing I want just to, I know you guys got a copy of it, or it was emailed to your office, but the first is the larger of the documents there. It's the comment sheet. A couple weeks ago, we got a visit from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. And it was a rather timely visit. They were wanting to talk about compliance assistance with burning emergency debris. So I'm sure that it was probably the Brushy Fork incident that prompted that visit, but everything was fine. We're within code and regulation with everything that is being done and has been being done, but it just brought to mind that, you know, we don't have the official debris management plan. It was revised, and we talked about it, I think, back first part of this year, and because of the expense for the third-party vendor for to come in and sift and sort and haul and transport and do all of the FEMA documentation and paperwork, we opted not to implement that. So, but I just wanted to show you all that, make sure you had a copy of it. And then if you want to revisit that plan, if you'd like another copy of that plan, I'll be happy to email that back out to you guys, and let y'all take a look at it. If you want to reconsider the implementation of that, we can certainly do that. But there's nothing in that report that suggests that we need to, or if there's an urgent matter that needs to be addressed. So just an informational thing for you to look at. The next thing I want to talk about is you'll see the drought monitor there. As you know, we lifted the drought monitor, the burn ban after about 32 or 33 days. The new drought monitor came out today, and it's pretty much unchanged. If anything, the statewide it's a little drier north of us, but even though that hasn't changed, a lot of the other factors that we look at have started to improve. So I'm confident that we're still okay by not having the burn ban. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we still continue to look at that like we do every day. So we're keeping an eye on that. Last thing I shared with you is just the progress report from Burke Engineering regarding the multi-hazard mitigation plan update. As you'll see on that report, it's about 70% complete. And it looks like estimated submission date to FEMA for initial review is going to be late fall of 2022. So I would assume that's going to be
Pretty close.
yeah, it's got to be pretty close. I mean, we're running out of fall. So I think that if it hasn't already been, because this update is a couple of days old, so they may have already sent that off. But anyway, I get one of these every month. I just want to make sure you guys are up to date on that as well. Any comments or any questions for me? Still no word on the Brushy Fork update. FEMA, from what I understand, is still entertaining some rebuttal, I guess, for lack of a better word, from Switzerland County about some of their claims that they couldn't get validated. So Ohio and Jefferson County are just kind of waiting to see how that's going to turn out, whether we're going to receive that declaration or not. But Bobby and I were talking about it, and unless they could come up with a lot of success in that process that's going on now to get that done, I don't know if we're going to, probably won't get that. So we'll have to come up with plan B for getting that work done as far as repairs are concerned. But as soon as I hear something, I'll make sure you guys are aware of that too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I haven't seen.
Okay. Okay. Bobby, I guess, finished up with all this.
He's still here.
Yeah. Okay. So this is,
Actually have something
okay.
to ask.
Okay.
So every year we ask for the courthouse to be closed for our Christmas party, just for lunch. And so far you guys haven't had an issue with it. So this year our party is going to be on the 9th of December. And we're asking the courthouse to just be closed from 11 to 2, which is what we've done the last few years.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Okay, we got Erica sitting back there. I'm sure you have a little bit of an update. I'm sure that's why she's here. You come just to see us, did you?
No.
I didn't know if I had to come up here or not. This is new.
Up to you.
I'm at 300 East Main Street, Madison, Indiana.
Really?
The
Oh, I didn't know we had people living in the corner.
the window is still open for small businesses to apply to your revolving loan. They have until tomorrow at noon. That's only for small businesses. That's all I have on that. And then tomorrow, if you're in the broadband world, which I am, is a big deal because all of the rebuttal about incorrect mapping is going to be released. It's going to be a new map. And so once this new map is released tomorrow, then we'll be able to review it And then if it's still inaccurate, they're going to provide us a means of how to challenge that incorrect mapping, because yeah, that's what we need. So the
So, right.
FCC is gonna release that. I don't know what time it's gonna be.
No, I'm
released
just wondering, so
tomorrow.
what are they doing now? I mean, you said they're coming out with a new one.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
the FCC was receiving information from local internet providers. They were sending that information to the FCC. And now, once all of that is,
Okay, so it was just them providing information to try to update it.
right,
Okay,
right,
I thought
right.
it was from a challenge, but it was just trying to get up-to-date
Right,
information.
exactly,
Okay.
yeah. Because I had pointed out the information that we had about our county, actually our whole entire region, was very old data. So hopefully that's not going to be on there. If it is, there's going to be a process of how Renisha and I can go about challenging that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Have anybody else would like to make a comment or have a,
About what was just spoken about, or do you want me to bring up a new topic? He's open for topic.
yep,
Forgive me for not hearing real good. My hearing aids, I'm getting new ones shortly. And I just got done with the hernia operation,
Oh,
so I'm battered goods right now. I was really disappointed that we didn't have a meeting today. Next door, a council meeting, because I've received some information I think is really pertinent, and I'll share it with you, gentlemen. The fact that I said this E.O. Muncie School, what's going on with it? You know, it's empty. It's been empty for a long time, and it looks like a real opportunity to move something in there that would benefit the whole community. My name is William Bodwin. B as in baseball, E-A-U, D as in David, O-I-N. I'm president of the Dry Dock Community Center Incorporated. And I am spokesperson for the entire recovering and recovered alcoholic and drug addicted people of Jefferson County. And I received that honor by going to a whole lot of meetings and asking people if I could be their voice and could represent them. We also, being that, believe it or not, I'm a senior, we've got something going with the seniors now because of some disputes I don't care to go into right now, but if anybody wants to see me privately, I'll let you know what's going on. But we have just started the Unified Senior Citizens of Jefferson County Incorporated. And they're going to be legit, just like we are. They're going to get the state certification, and they're going to get the 501c3. They closed down the group in Hanover for several reasons, several different disputes. Long going, and it didn't seem to be resolvable. So they decided to break off, end that, and start this. They want to throw in with us for a community center. And we want to throw in with the rehab hospital they want to get going. When I look at that E.O. Muncie School, I see a prime opportunity to put a lot of things in there that would help the community. So I made a couple phone calls, one to Mr. Yancey, Assistant Superintendent of the Consolidated School System, and I also called Dr. Teresa Brown, who's the head of the Consolidated School Systems here in Jefferson County. What are you going to do with the building? And they said, well, the YMCA wants to buy it. I said, oh, really? So is it for sale? He said, yeah, but they're going to get an appraisal on the property. And before spring, they hope to make a decision on what they want to do with it. If we were to build a hospital, it's going to take time to dig, to perk, and to build the building. By that time you get that, then we're talking about another year and a half, maybe 2 years before we realize we have a hospital setting to help the community here with the drug problem. I gotta tell you, my background, I'm 41 years clean and sober. And when I work with guys in the halfway houses and newer people, and even some older people that have been in a program for a while, that's called sponsorship. And sponsorship is the same as counseling, because we have a 12-step program that's just absolutely dynamite. It was developed in 1939 and was started by Dr. Bob and Bill W. in Akron, Ohio in 1935. It's the greatest program that ever has been. And if sincerity is the most sincerest form of flattery, if imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery, look at all the 12-step programs that have come up out of the AA program and an NA program. Gamblers Anonymous, you name it. Because it works if you work it. And that's a prime thing. I have quite an objection to, and I'm not alone, with many other people in recovery, of anybody starting a hospital here in this area that is going to do a transference of addictions from heroin to methadone or anything else to Suboxone, because those people are on it for life. And it's unfair. And I feel people that are already victimized with an addiction, then they get further addicted, and they're further at a victim because they get wrapped up in this stuff. And it's an ongoing process. So I want to get back to what I'm basically talking about. And the fact is that this building is available. And if the YMCA gets it, which I think would be great to have a YMCA in this area, but they're going to destroy that building and they'll probably build brand new. So what I was going to suggest today, but they didn't have a meeting, let's get a delegation to go over there, get the school opened up, let's tour it, let's see what we're dealing with. Let's see what it needs. Let's see what it needs to update the kitchen. It has huge wings that if we started a small hospital setting, rehab hospital, we could expand it. And for the gymnasium and the cafeteria could be used for all around. And the gymnasium could be used for a gathering place, a social club, clean silver social club for the seniors of Jefferson County. And also the recovered and recovering people, their families, their spouses, their friends, and so on. So I just look at it as a real prime opportunity here. If I was hoping we could get a delegation today at the meeting to get over there and look at the school and see what we're dealing with. The parking would be great. It's a great spot. It's about in the middle of the county. And I hope it's considered, and I hope maybe somebody will get a hold of me and tell me where to go from here, because I think I've got a good idea. We've had this, my understanding, I've been going to these meetings for 7 months. It's going on 2 years that they've had this committee. And nobody's broke ground yet. No one's got a hospital yet. But when you think about our county, we've got a lot of businesses moving in, and we're expanding, and we're growing population wise. One of the things I said to Dr. Brown was, would you consider a lease option? In other words, we update the school, and then in updating the school, in 5 or 10 years, we give the school back if the demographics of the population change as such where they need the school back. And that's quite possible. If you sell that to somebody and they destroy it and put something else up, then they're gonna have to build the expense of building a brand new school again to equate the population change. So I think there's a winner all the way around to look at the school and put our hat in the ring for it. And I hope what I've said would be considered. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Yes, sir.
My name is Gary Moss. I'm at 2046 Dubin Hollow Road, and I'm here on behalf of the Telegraph Hill Sewer District. I just wanted to give you a little update before the health department did and IDEM did. we recently got a new maintenance guy and he has told us that the sewer system is in pretty bad disrepair. So, and to back that up, we have 2 lift stations down, we've had a spill. So we're, want you to know that we're dealing with it. We have our engineer looking at doing an analysis of exactly what needs to be done. And then Southeastern Indiana Planning Commission is going to help us apply for grants. They suggested the commissioners, but that's down the road after the study's done. And they said it'd be about 4 months. But I mean, if you hear, we're on it, we're dealing with it. So I know you guys are kind of, you appoint us. So I just thought you deserve to know from us before you heard it from somebody else. So that's what I had. Any questions?
I saw your tanks and stuff sitting around where you're getting ready to.
Yeah, we've been, can't get parts. We rented a bypass pump for 1 lift station, and that's $2,000 a month. And we're a small sewer district. We really can't afford that. So we just can't, we finally have gotten the parts and they're replacing it now. Now another lift station went down, and this new guy said that preventive maintenance should have been going on all along, and we didn't do it. So we just, I didn't realize, I'm not a sewer guy, I just didn't realize that stuff should have been going on. He said the individual home grinder pumps, a lot of those are in disrepair and leaking, the control panels and things like that. So we're going to go through the whole system, see what needs to be done, and try to find money and get it done. So,
Very good.
all right.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Moving on to Bobby.
Just an update on the jail. Things are really moving along well out there. I talked to the poly rep who does the cells. He's painting and they're doing the platforms and the grid, and he's really enthused. He said he's about 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So my hats off to all those guys out there for attention to detail. We've got a good bunch of contractors out there. They really care about their work. But anyway, and then of course, John and I have been going over the personal equipment for the jail, and we pulled the trigger on some of it, on some clothing and blankets, mattresses, covers. And I'm going to be on Troy's first list to get in the building to store it out there, because I want to have it on site. When we get ready to move, it's go out there and get it, not, oh, we're 4 to 6 weeks out, like some of the stuff we're going to have to wait on. It's up to 12 weeks. So that's why we're getting ahead of the schedule. So I'll give you more of an update on that as we get farther along. So that's about it.
No, we'll talk about that. Okay.
So we've reached the point with the updating of the subdivision and zoning ordinances. It's now going to be called the Unifying Development Ordinance, so don't be confused. It's one and the same. And that's the thing, it has gone to just one ordinance, but we're going to have a public input session. So we've sat down with the technical group and the consultant, kind of put things together, looking at other counties, state requirements and things like that, and come up with something we want people to have some input, they need input on. So that's going to be on the Thursday, December 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Ivy Tech. And so that'll be the public's chance to come out and provide their input. So we'll get the version, or the draft version that's available now, out on the website so people can get it and start looking through it. I'm pretty sure there's a couple empty sections right now. One is like airports. So we're just going to pull what is the FAA's requirements and put that in there and make sure, because I'm pretty sure we have very little in the current ordinances about developing around an airport. So we're going to grab that and put that in there. I think that's about it. I mean, there are some changes. We've looked at kind of the minimum lot size, which used to be driven by putting in a septic system. And, but it doesn't necessarily have to be quite as big as we had it, so it's gonna change be a little bit smaller. They've come up with I think it's the above ground, kind of the pod septic system that they've put in. I've seen a couple of them, or the mound system, I guess. That doesn't need quite as much space for, so that's one of the things that has changed, and trying to update it, because there were a number of updates.
Is that where if you don't have the 1.72 acres?
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is now,
A
but
little
we're,
flexibility.
Right.
with that.
because of I think, I'm pretty sure that was driven by
Mhm.
septic requirements, but in further discussion, we said, okay, probably not quite that big, so we're looking at that. But yeah, so the meeting will be on the 8th of December from 6 to 8 at Ivy Tech. And like I said, we'll get the draft out there on the website so people can get a look at that and start making comments. So it's nothing's finalized. We're still developing it, but we need to have that to get the public's input, and the planning commission will start looking at it as well. Tomorrow, we will have the first meeting with the stormwater management master plan with the different offices in the county, just to get them, get their feedback, get their information, try to gather what we need to start putting together a plan for Jefferson County. And once we get that finished, and then we'll have probably I don't know if it'll happen in December, maybe not until early next year, something that the public can look at and start making comments on and stuff like that. But just trying to get input from those who kind of know stormwater issues or stormwater needs in the county and start putting that together. So that's all I have.
Okay. Either one of you two, Heather, nothing? Okay, whoa, all right. Sarah took care of hers. I guess the only other thing is treatment train meeting was canceled for today sometime. And hopefully we'll get rescheduled. We are working there with the University of Cincinnati right now, working on the assessment needs. So, that, needs assessment. That's kind of got to be done to keep in order. So Bill and all of us will keep going. Keep the meetings a little more visible, possibly. Yeah, some people showed up. Eight, yeah, okay. Yes, we gotta keep an eye on that. So the next meeting was in December, but I understand that maybe gonna wait till January to give University of Cincinnati some time to do this needs assessment. Talking to the JRAC and the court, and then us. So hopefully that'll be the December meeting. Talk to Mike and Jason again. And I think, does anybody else have a comment? You see the rest of the meetings are going to be here rest of the year, which is not very many. Yeah. So, yeah, and everybody knows about the little owl sitting here recording you right now. So this has been interesting. You're on the cutting edge of technology here tonight. Got the owl looking at us.
Schmidt's furniture.
Motion to adjourn.
That's the, yeah.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you being here.